Hello students, today I am going to make this video for standard 7 and I will cover the first chapter of computer, that is computer hardware components. So I will cover a certain topic of the first unit of the first chapter. The unit is components of a computer system. So let us proceed to the topic.
Chapter 1 Computer Hardware Components, and the Unit 1 of Chapter 1, that is Components of a Computer System. A computer system. A computer is an electronic data processing machine which accepts data and instruction through an input unit. It has the ability to process the data into meaningful information. Now, as you can see on the screen, three terms are highlighted: processing, data and instruction, information. Now in the coming slides we will see what all these things are, and it will become clear what is the actual definition of a computer and actually how a computer works. So let us proceed. Now let us talk about data and information. Then we will move on to processing. So what is data? It is an unorganized fact and figures given as an input to a computer. What it is? Unorganized fact and figures. And what is information? When the unorganized fact and figures are processed by the processing unit, that is the computer's processor, it gives a meaningful result. This meaningful desired result is called information. Now as you can see on the screen, dear students, it is written unorganized fact and figures. Now let us talk about one example, and with the example I hope it will become very clear what is data and information. So let us see, or let us talk about how to book a railway ticket. Now, what are the details we need to provide to book a railway ticket? We need to provide the source station, we need to provide the destination, we need to provide the date of journey and the number of persons traveling. After providing all this data, when it is processed by the computer system of the booking counter where you need to book, or where you have gone to book the ticket, or if you are doing it online, when you provide all this data to the computer system, it processes the data, and after processing a result comes out in the form of a ticket. Now the data which you provided to the computer, that is source station, destination, date of journey and number of persons traveling. Now if I provide only the source of station, destination and number of persons traveling, will the computer be able to make a ticket? No. Why? Because we have not provided the date of journey to the computer. Now we need to provide all the necessary data to the computer so that we can get a desired result. If any of the data is missing, or if we have provided a wrong data to the computer, we are not going to get a meaningful result. Also, now you can see on the screen, dear students, a cup of tea. Now you might be wondering what a cup of tea is doing here on the screen. Now this is also a good example of data and information. Now let us talk about how to make a cup of tea. To make a cup of tea, we need certain ingredients: water, milk, pan utensil and let us say gas stove also. Now how do we process to make a cup of tea? In the pan, do we put the sugar first to make a cup of tea? The answer is no. We need to provide the ingredients and the water and the milk in a sequential manner, in an organized manner. We first put the water, then we put the ingredients, or then we put the milk, then it boils. After it gets boiled for a certain interval of time, after putting all these things into the pan, a result comes out in the form of a cup of tea. Now what you did? The ingredients, the water, the milk, all these things you can take it as an unorganized data. And when we put all the data into the pan processed the data, and after processing the data, the pan gave us a meaningful result in the form of a cup of tea. If you put the data, let us say, if you put the tea leaf first, if you put the sugar first, you are not going to get a proper result. So, dear students, I hope you understood what is data and information. So, let us move to the next topic. Students, as you saw in the previous slide, that unless we provide the unorganized data, unorganized fact and figures to the computer in an organized manner, we are not going to get a desired result. If we want a desired result, what we need to do? We need to provide all the unorganized fact and figures into an organized manner, in an organized manner. The cup of tea example you saw. In the cup of tea, if we would have provided the tea leaf, if we would have put the tea leaf first, we would not have got a proper result. So after providing all the data into the pan utensil, all the ingredients into the pan utensil, and after boiling it, we got a result as a cup of tea. Now the cup of tea became information, and the ingredients which we provided into the utensil, it became the data. Now here is also one more example on the screen. The example is fully related to how a computer works. The juicer machine, the way it works, the same way your computer works. Let us see how. Now in the juicer machine, as you can see at the top, I have written input. Now what the input I am going to provide to the juicer machine? An orange. Let us say we want to take out an orange juice. Now when we put the orange into the juicer machine, and when we run the juicer machine, what it does? It processes the orange, and from another end it comes out as an orange juice. Now here a question. If I provide a rotten orange to the juicer machine, am I going to get a fresh juice? The answer is no. That means whatever data I provided, whatever orange I put into the juicer machine, the same way accordingly I got the juice. If it is a fresh orange, I got a fresh juice. If it is a rotten orange, I got a rotten juice. So I provided the orange into the machine, then I need to process the orange with the juicer machine, and from another end I got the juice. Now the same way our computer works. To the computer, if we provide a wrong data, surely we are going to get a wrong result from the computer, because computer is dependent on the user. Whatever the data is provided by the user, same way the computer is going to give you the answer. If you provide the wrong data, wrong facts and figures to the computer, you will be getting a wrong answer from the computer. So I hope you understood, dear students, how computer works. Now, if you want more example, I can give you more example. Let us say I want to add two numbers. Let us say I want to add 2 plus 3. Now, if you provide this data to the computer to get a result as a 5, how do you provide? What will you do? You will open a calculator program. Then in the calculator, first you will type 2, then the plus sign, then 3, then is equal to. Now all these operators and operands, it works as a data. 2 plus then 3 then is equal to. When we put all these in a sequence manner, in an organized manner, we got a result as a 5. Suppose if I would have put plus sign first, then 2, then is equal to, then 5, I would not have got any result, because though we had provided all the data, but it was not in an organized manner. So when you are providing a data to the computer, you have to provide the data to the computer in an organized manner. So when you are providing a right data to the computer, you are going to get right output from the computer. Okay, now let us move to the next slide. Primary functions of a computer system. First point, it holds all the components of a computer together to protect the sensitive electronic parts. Now dear students, as you can see on the screen, a CPU contains many components. For example, hard disk, motherboard, processor, RAM, CD/DVD drive, SMPS, that is the power supply, etc. Now all these things are assembled together to make a single CPU. Second point, it uses common storage for all or a part of a program. Now the hard disk used in the computer system, it acts as a common storage whether we are working on an application or we are working on operating system. Both are stored into the same hard disk. Third one, it executes user written or user designated programs. Now as you know students, computer works on the data given by the user, the input given by the user. That's what here it is written. Whatever the data we provide to the computer, it executes the same data by processing it in the form of information. Fourth point, it performs user designated data manipulation including arithmetical and logical operation. Now data manipulation means we can edit the data at any point of time, whether it is a mathematical data or whether it is a logical data. Computer hardware. A computer hardware refers to the physical parts of a computer and related devices. You can see, feel and touch all these physical parts. Now students, when we say physical parts, that means it is the hardware of a computer which you can touch. It occupies space, it has a mass and a definite shape and size, like the motherboard, the CPU, the monitor, or whatever you can see on the screen right now. All these things, other than these, there are many more things which we can see, can touch, can feel, are called computer hardwares. Now internal hardware devices like motherboards, processors, hard drive, RAM, SMPS, that is the power supply, the processor, etc. All this comes under internal hardware devices. Now external hardware devices means the monitors, keyboard, mouse, printers, scanners. Now here internal and external hardware devices means internal which are assembled inside the CPU box and external which is outside the CPU box. I hope you understood. The monitor is not assembled inside the CPU box, it is outside the CPU box. But when we talk about RAM, when we talk about the processor, the motherboard, all these things are assembled inside the CPU box. That's why these are referred as internal hardware devices. The internal hardware parts of a computer are often referred to as components, while hardware devices which are externally used are called peripherals, and together all they fall under a category of computer hardware. Software. It is the programs and applications that run on computers. Because software run on computer hardware, software program often have system requirements that list the minimum hardware required for the software to run. Now I will give you one example. Let us talk about a game called Far Cry 5. Far Cry 5. Now to run this game on your computer system, you need a graphics card with a dedicated memory. Now if this graphics card is not installed in your computer system, the game Far Cry 5 will not work on your computer system. Now why it will not work in your computer system? Because the minimum hardware requirement for that game is that the game is asking you a dedicated memory, a graphics card to be installed into your computer system. Software is a collection of instructions that enable the user to interact with a computer, its hardware, and help us to perform tasks. Now, software is a collection of instructions. Now, when software is made, many codes are put into the software in a sequential manner so that software can be executed step by step. Now, dear students, you can see many icons on the screen. To the left hand side, in the middle, and to the right hand side. To the left hand side, icons of some browsers and etc. are given. In the middle, the icons of operating systems are there. To the right hand side, it is a Microsoft Office package which contains all these different applications, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, etc. Also, as you can see on the screen, dear students, two red arrows are given. Now here I am having a task for you. You have to find out the application icon or the operating system icon name that this particular icons, these two icons are made for which program, and you write it in my comment box as a homework. Thank you. In the previous slide, we saw the definition of hardware and software. In this slide, we will see the relation between these two, that is the relation between hardware and software. Hardware refers to all the visible devices which are assembled together to build a computer system. That means when we bring RAM, processor, motherboard, the SMPS, the hard disk together, when we assemble, when we connect all this together into a CPU cabinet, it makes a CPU box, and when we connect the CPU box and the monitor, keyboard, mouse, all this together, it makes a computer system. Software refers to the computer program that are loaded into the computer system. The blending of hardware and software gives life to a computer system. That means in a hardware, if the software is installed, that means the hardware has become alive to give its performance. Though hardware is the physical part of the computer system, it is nothing unless it has a software to control it. Software is a set of instructions that tells the hardware what to do and how to perform the requested action. Hence, both are essential to get the work done, and they share a special relationship. If the hardware is the heart of computer system, the software is the soul of the computer system. Let us talk about the difference between a hardware and a software. hardware. Hardware is required to run and store a software. Let us say that if we have an operating system program called Windows 10. Now it is with us in a pen drive or in a DVD. Now we need either a laptop or a desktop to install this program to run. We need a hardware in the form of laptop or hardware in the form of desktop to run this program called operating system Windows 10. In case of software, it is a program that enables the computer to perform specific tasks. Now each and every software is made to do some specific task, and this software is, when installed into the computer, it gets activated to do that specific task. Second point, hardware starts functioning when a software is loaded. Let us say if you have a vehicle at home, whether it is a bike or a car, etc., whatever it is, you need a fuel to start that vehicle. Same way, you need a software to run a computer called a desktop, laptop, etc. How much expensive it is, you need an operating system to be installed into it. Then only the hardware functions. Software is installed on the hardware to deliver functions. Software. Now let us talk about VLC Media Player. We know their VLC Media Player has a lot of features. Now how we will come to know about the functions and the features unless it is installed into a hardware? So we need to install the program so that we can access the feature given by the company into VLC Media Player. Next point, hardware is physical in nature. Physical in nature means we can touch, it occupies space, it has a definite shape and size. So in other way, in software is logical in nature. That means we cannot touch the software, just we can see it on the screen. It has a certain code which works. Next point, there are more chances of failure in hardware devices. It is said because it totally depends on the electricity. If there is any fluctuation, your hardware failure rate increases. Now software is totally dependent on hardware. That's why it is said that software comparatively have less failure rate than hardware. Hence it is reliable. Hardware components can be seen and touched. Software can be viewed at the time of execution.
I hope you understood the topic covered in this video. I will keep uploading more videos at a regular interval of time. Thank you.